Oh, this is actually the greatest thing you guys have done on the podcast. I can't wait for Vince to go.
I'm not doing it.
Dude, you have to do it.
You can't
have
be
to
the
do it.
one person out of that. We've all bit the
have to
bullet.
do
We
it.
all bit the bullet.
You can do it.
Have you ever tried to sing?
Yeah.
I sing every day.
You do?
It's pretty good.
I try really hard. I'm not good at it. I fucking try to give it my best.
Well, because my brother never sings or, would never. But, like, dude, he whistles like a fucking angel from heaven.
Yeah.
And, like, dude, he's, like, not tone deaf, but, like, really can't do it,
And he speaks from his throat. He doesn't speak from his diaphragm. I do too. If I want to speak out of my diaphragm, like, it changes the whole way that I talk.
Most
But
people
it
don't know how to do
It
that.
doesn't come naturally to me to do that. Like, and your brother's...
blows my mind. He can't even project at all. Yeah, I'm like, I don't think he can
If
yell.
he learned how to breathe into his diaphragm and use that to speak, he could probably sing great. But you either do that naturally or someone needs to teach you how to do it.
But do you feel like you understand pitch really well?
I mean, I feel like if I hear someone fucking sing a C note, I could probably copy it with my whistling.
That just
I can-
literally blows my mind.
Some pitches with my voice sometimes, but not consistently, no. And I try. Like, that's what I mean by, like, I try. Even when I'm listening to music in my headphones and shit, like, I'll try, but I'm like, no, that ain't right. And I'll like, okay, so I need to get a little higher. And I'm like, no, that's not right either. And I just, like...
That's crazy.
I remember when we were kids and you would try to sing badly. And you, like, you couldn't do it. You're like, I can't even get my vocal cords to do the wrong pitch if I tried it.
Well, yeah, it's like, it's weird to me because I can't understand. It's harder to not match the pitch than to just match it. And so when someone's like, oh, like they're tone deaf, I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, in my mind, I can't even think of it.
I have a thing that I do for some reason, like I can't help, but when I sing in front of people, I naturally sing sort of off. Like I don't sing like a pure correct note on stuff for some reason, even though I can.
Well, I know you can. You were in choir in high school.
But like if I'm like singing around somebody, I never like really actually sing it. I'm just like,
That's kind of how I am too. Like, I can't get myself to actually sing correctly. If I'm in the show,
I don't know why, but singing is
way
like
better.
singing is the most vulnerable thing you can do.
It is.
And I know you don't. You can't even.
It's so
figure that
crazy.
out.
Well, I mean, because I grew up doing it, right?
Well, and you were validated in it. People say
Yeah.
you're good at this.
Yeah.
And when I started to sing, everyone was like, "You can't sing, don't sing," or "Who sings that song?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's Depeche Mode." They're like, "Keep it that way."
Yeah, keep it that
So
way.
it's like, okay.
Yeah, they're like,
So you just
why are
learn,
you
like-
raping my ears with
It's
this
just
terrible
learn-
sound?
Learned behavior. Like, if you know.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's just, it kind of blows my mind because it's all muscle memory.
Carrie can do that fucking wave with his eyebrows.
Well,
That's just muscle memory too. But
Yeah.
he wasn't. I mean, most people aren't just born being able to fucking do the eyebrow.
yeah.
If you sit in the mirror and fucking force your muscles to do it enough, like, you can do it to where you can do it.
Well, and then, like, well, I don't know, like, back to my brother, like, doing the whistling thing. It's like, so you can whistle like one of the birds from Cinderella, but if I was like, ooh, you can't match it with your voice, but you can go with your whistling. It's like, how?
You can just do that.
I like that. I don't know. That blows my mind.
So it's not a problem of being able to hear pitch and tone. It's just,
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, is it a problem of?
I mean, I don't. If you can whistle in tune or
I guess it's not then. Yeah.
it's not your problem with your ears. It's a problem with your throat, with your larynx and your vocal cords. And stuff.
Right. Well, because you haven't trained it, I guess. I'm definitely like, I subscribe to the idea that everyone can like sing, but not everyone has a good voice to listen to.
Right.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and not everyone has range. Like, I could probably learn to sing within a pretty limited range and sound good within that range. But
Yeah.
If I try to go lower or higher than that, it's not going to sound good.
I mean, I can't sing lower than I'm talking right now at all.
Yeah.
It's physically not possible for me. So, like,
Funny because in choir I started out as a bass, and then by the time we graduated high school, I was like a tenor.
10 or 2 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our friends especially, I think, are really good at imitating people.
That's one thing that I can't sing well, but like if I hear someone do an accent, I can copy.
You're
exactly what they
really
say.
good at
I can
accents.
do that accent
Yeah.
really well.
You don't realize how much people don't like express themselves in a silly way until like you start to interact with people outside the friend group. Because I was with my brother's wife's dad and we were in Colorado like on a vacation. We were playing a drinking game and like I made the rule where you have to talk in an accent, you know, and then everyone's just silence.
They just can't do it.
They just can't do it. It's like you don't know any, you can't do any accents.
British accent.
Silly
Anyone
accents.
can do a British accent.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Southern American accent. Like,
And I'm just like, you can slit into Scottish if you want, you know, like you can do anything. And like, they just, no, can't do it.
That's it. That I call bullshit on people when they tell me.
Yeah, they just don't want to try, I guess, maybe. I don't know, but
I mean, maybe they like it's like you being like just sing a C. Come on.
yeah.
I'd be like, I can't do that. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've had like ex-girlfriends in the past that I'm like, just honestly do any you can't do any accent. Like I can't even try. I can't. I'm just like, you just are being a pussy. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
If you can imitate someone's accent, I feel like you can sing. I don't know, like you just haven't practiced or you don't try or you don't think you can. Or like someone told you you're not a singer so you can't sing and you've never tried again. Someone who's like, you know, when I was 8 and I was like singing, they're like, oh, you're pretty good at it. So then I was like, oh, I can sing. And so I did it my whole life. And then now like I can sing. If like you never like were naturally good at it, like at a young age, they're just like, oh, well, you're not a singer, so you don't sing. That's
Yeah.
not something you do.
Yeah.
And then you never do it again. And then
Yeah.
now you can't sing anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
childhood can really fuck you up.
It's
Most
the
certainly.
main thing.
Well, you were singing 24/7 even when we were like 3 years old. You were singing all the time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, I'm on the other side of the spectrum, you know, but I'm talking about people in the middle. I feel like everyone can do it, but people don't because they feel like,
I feel the same way about drawing.
yeah, maybe.
Anyone can draw. They can learn to draw. They're like, all I can draw is stick figures. I'm like, that's because that's the only thing you've ever tried.
Right.
Like if you sat down and took the pencil to your paper and gave yourself an hour and actually had the patience to try your best to look at something and draw it, it might not come out looking just like a lamp, but if you did it 100 times, you could draw that fucking lamp.
Right.
Anyone could.
Dude.
It's just all it takes.
And I 100% agree with you because I used to feel that way about myself.
Yeah.
I used to think I could never snap, and then
Yeah.
now I can.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, snap!
In all through high school, I literally didn't think I could, and I still am not a good whistler, and I used to think I couldn't whistle, and then now, like, I can.
Yeah.
It's because I didn't practice enough, and then I did it.
You can do anything! Anything's possible! The world is yours!
And then when I was in college, I used to think, oh, like Vince he's a phenomenal artist, you know, like that's just something natural, like I can't draw. And then I was at the Boys and Girls Club. One of the kids like sat down and they were like, oh, can you draw me? And I was like, yeah, let me try. And I like actually tried really hard.
I have to draw you.
You know, and I like drew a profile of her face and I'm like, shit, dude, this is actually like
Whatever.
not
Yeah,
bad.
this isn't all-
You know, like tried really hard.
Yeah.
You can definitely, I mean, it wasn't good, but like,
But if you did it 100 more times,
Right.
and tried as hard as you did the first time every time,
right.
you'd get really good at it.
I mean, but that's the thing
though.
though.
It is a natural.
Right.
I agree, like,
Yeah.
Naturally, some people, when they first put a pencil to paper, are going to draw something that makes someone go, whoa, like,
Yeah.
you're good at this.
You're naturally gifted.
They're like, wow,
Yeah.
you should. And then they are going to have a much higher skill ceiling than someone
Right.
who just, like, naturally puts a pencil to paper and doesn't draw that well. Like, they can become an artist, too. But they're not going to become as good of an artist as the other person does if they both work just as hard at it.
Right.
But if the naturally gifted artist puts in an hour of practice a week and the unnaturally gifted artist puts in 8 hours a day, like the unnaturally gifted artist is going to become better than the naturally gifted artist.
I mean, most certainly, yeah.
Naturally, I'm not going to ever go to the NBA no matter if I fucking practiced every day.
Well, not now.
Well, even if I was a kid.
You'd be an old player already.
Yeah, even if I practiced every day when I was a kid, like, I just don't even have the body for it.
Well, that's a whole nother thing. Like you literally, unless you're Spud Webb, you're not getting in. Did you watch the Last Dance?
Yes.
I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
I finished it.
I did not realize how much of a baller Scottie Pippen was.
Yeah, he was badass.
Dude,
I didn't realize how little he got paid. I didn't realize he was getting disrespected like that.
so
And then Portland was
disrespected.
just like, here's $1 billion for you to come and retire in Portland.
Yeah, dude, he was getting so disrespected.
Yeah,
Put some respect on my name.
that was some crazy.
I mean, he sat out.
I didn't realize.
Did you see that much?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sat out for like half the season or something like that.
Because he scheduled his surgery like way late because he was like basically making a point. Like,
Yeah, he's like, fuck you guys.
I didn't realize how shitty Dennis Rodman was on offense. I always thought Dennis Rodman was like a great basketball player. He was just a really good defender and a great rebounder. Like he just,
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, he's a phenomenal, like, special asset, though.
yeah, absolutely.
Like, he was a hardcore player.
Without Dennis Rodman, they don't win all those titles. No.
Honestly, my favorite part of the documentary was Dennis Rodman.
mine too.
I was like, dude, this guy's a fucking G.
Well, too. Like I think
Yeah.
he articulates himself pretty well.
You're
So
not
that
supposed to say
actually-
that. You're not supposed to say that.
What do you mean?
You're not
About
supposed-
black people?
Yeah.
I just mean because,
Like, I remember there was a complaint in the NFL whenever they would talk about quarterbacks, and it was a black quarterback. The thing that they would always say is, he's a very intelligent quarterback.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they would never say that about a white QB. It was just, like, assumed that he was
Same
intelligent.
about, like white basketball players, like, oh, he's really scrappy,
Yeah.
IQ player. Like,
Or he's got great
he's
hops.
never he's really athletic or he's really gifted with the basketball.
He can dunk.
It's just he's a really smart basketball player because how else could he compete with all these freaks?
Yeah.
I say that about Dennis Rodman is because when you look at the way he presents himself, he seems like he would like to me. He looks like a fucking imbecile.
Well, I obviously know what you mean. Yeah, he's a freaking character.
He just looks like
Yeah.
a complete moron.
Yeah.
Like wearing dresses and his face all pierced up. And,
Well, it was weird to see him when he first came into the league. He looked totally normal.
yeah.
Like for the majority of his career, he was totally normal,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, boom.
Well, I
he,
think
like-
it was from when he started dating Carmen Electra. She was like, you should just really be yourself. And he was like, yeah.
Well, in the interview, she was saying he was the crazy one. Like,
Yeah.
Well, he probably. I mean,
He broke his dick like 3 times.
Hey, this is Dennis Rodman. Let me show you how to break your dick 3 ways. I'm like, oh, blood everywhere. I mean, blood everywhere. She's a white girl. You just saw double blood all over.
And she was. Well, did you see as far as when he like went to the coach and was like, I need to leave. I can't do this without a vacation anymore. I need to leave for 48 hours.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just
Went to Vegas and partied, and then he didn't come back. And he didn't come back. He was gone for like 4 days. And then Michael Jordan flew to, knocked on his hotel door. And then Carmen Electra was like, I hid behind the couch because I didn't want to see Michael Jordan.
He didn't come back on time. Ready to go get his ass out of bed. And I'm not going to say what's in his bed.
Dude, Michael Jordan was kind of a fucker a little bit.
Oh, he was a total dickhead.
I mean, that's how you have to be that good, though.
Right.
I just love how like there's like 6 times in the documentary where he was just like, and I took that personally. I just like, and that's all I needed to hear for me to come back and just win the championship.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, Karl Malone won the MVP. Well, I took that personally, so I came and I beat him and won the championship. Or like the coach Phil Jackson and whatever that.
Oh, gosh, what was his name? I can't remember.
The little fat guy
Yeah.
that everyone bullied all the time.
Yeah.
They were talking about some European player. They were like, we think he's pretty good. And so then the whole team just like bullied the shit out of him when they went
Yeah.
internationally.
Dude, and then he came back and played for the Bulls, and they won the championship.
Yeah.
I actually sort of became a fan a little bit of Dennis Rodman. I was like, that's a cool guy. So he was on the Mike Tyson podcast.
Mike Tyson has a podcast?
Dude.
Mike Tyson
Yes, he
has a
does.
podcast.
That's tight.
Yes, he fucking does. It's called Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson because he just blunts his face the entire time. And,
Good for him.
dude,
He's living his best life. He's about to fight too.
yes, he is. All right, so I wanted to talk about Mike Tyson a little
Should we
bit.
turn this shit on?
It's been going for like an hour.
Okay.
But anyways, I really advise at least just throwing it on once. And the one he has Dennis Rodman on there, and
Subscribe to it right now.
it's good. The one with Dennis Rodman, because him and Dennis were like pretty good friends in the 90s. They like partied together and
Yeah.
whatever. And Dennis is like, oh, I got some fucking stories about Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson is just like, yeah, it's crazy, Dennis. Just like, say whatever you want to say, man. Just like, and I was just sort of curious because, you know, Mike Tyson is a interesting person, you know, just like mentality and all that.
I mean, he seems really gentle, but apparently he beats people.
So people talk a lot about that because they're just like so like starstruck when they come in there. Like even like he has huge celebrities that come in because he's so famous. Of course.
Yeah.
I think people might be afraid if they say no that if they see him in the street, he might bite their ear off or something. He had William Shatner on. And
Mike Tyson and William Shatner.
Okay, so
Mike Tyson's way more famous than William Shatner in my mind.
I mean, I don't know.
No, he is.
Well,
He
is. I would say.
I don't know.
Right now, I would
is
say
like a
he's
really
got more fame than.
Right now, I mean, William Shatner is well known for Star Trek, but Mike Tyson's a household name.
Yeah, everyone knows who
for
Mike
sure.
Tyson
I mean,
is.
I'm kind of a Trekkie, I guess. So like,
I love Star Trek. I've never watched the William Shatner ones,
I have
but
no idea who William Shatner is.
I didn't know that.
Paige had no idea how to tell her.
I didn't know that.
She thinks William Shatner is famous for being in Miss Congeniality.
Oh. One of the bigger roles. That's a great movie.
It is actually a good movie. Dude, it's got Michael Caine, William Shatner, and Sandy Bullock in it. I mean, come
Sandy B. But I gotta say, man, watch the fucking or listen to that podcast episode.
Shatner, Mike Tyson.
Somehow the dynamic between William fucking Shatner and Mike Tyson was
Electric.
magical. But I'm telling you right now, at some point in the, you know, when it's like halfway through, you know, because it takes a while for people to like, especially if they've never met, to like get flowing and stuff. But it gets sort of awkward at one point. I mean, all of them are a little bit awkward because Mike Tyson's a little bit awkward.
His brain's alphabet soup.
His William Shatner's like genuine interest into Mike Tyson's brain is great to listen to. He just asks so many questions and it gets really deep. Every single episode gets really, really deep. That's like all he wants to talk about. Mike Tyson is just like, who is God? Like, what is God? Do you believe in God? And like, where do we go when we die? And like, have you ever done the toad? He talks about the toad all the time.
Have you tried the toad before? Have you ever heard of the toad?
Because
What's the toad?
You scrape a toad because of the poison on it,
Right.
and then you like do something to it, and then you
like
smoke
licking
it.
a toad?
It's like DMT, where you blast off to another dimension, and like,
Or like you guys with Hitler.
And Hitler, Hitler's my North Star, man. It gets crazy because Mike Tyson gets like emotional a lot. Hates that he gets emotional, so he's like, but he's still a psycho.
Knocks himself out.
He's still a psycho, dude. I'm sort of obsessed with him now because I'm just like, wow, I had no idea Mike Tyson was this deep, you know? And he's like, he talks about like whether or not he thinks he deserves his life. He's like, because I was a fucking savage. Like I was trash. I was a trash person. He talks about how absolutely petrified he was to fight every single time. Like he was like, yeah, he was like a
32-0 or something.
Yeah, he was like
that.
super, super fragile mentally. He's like, in the locker room before the fight, he's like, I'm terrified. I'm petrified. I feel like I'm going to lose. I feel like this man might kill me. I feel like I'm going to lose everything. Like I'm a fraud. I'm not the best in the world. I'm not Mike Tyson, blah, blah, blah. And then I walk out and I'm approaching the ring and I get a little bit more confident and I keep walking and I get a little bit more confident. And then he's like, I enter the ring and I'm a god.
I mean,
And he's like, no man in the world can beat me. He's like, I stare in their eyes and they stare back at me and then we get closer and we get closer and he's like I maintain eye contact. I don't ever look away. Wait for a chink in their armor. They look down for 1 second and he's like, I know I've already beat them. And I'm like, fuck, dude. He's like a tiger.
dude, have you ever watched a bunch of Mike Tyson fights though?
They're fucking so awesome.
I would be
They're
terrified to get in the ring
so
with the other.
terrifying. If you were fighting him,
Absolute freak.
dude.
So here's the thing.
He's
He's,
the guy,
not
like-
very big.
I know, but
He's
has
sort of small.
But the thing is that he was like one of the first people who didn't just like throw punches with his arms and
Yeah.
stuff. He was the first one to like duck and weave, and then like he would come through, like he would duck down,
Yes.
and then he would come up
His whole hips.
with his hips and his whole lats and his deltoids
Yeah.
and everything. And he would come up and punch through with his legs and everything, and just like literally rip the head off of people. So it's
I
like,
think he has the record for the most like quick knockouts.
First round knockout.
Because like a lot of his fights only lasted first round.
Yeah, like 9 seconds.
Yeah,
It
because
doesn't-
like you watch him on the podcast, he's got a co-host. Because the first time I ever was introduced to the podcast, I was just listening to it. I didn't watch it. And as I was listening, I was like, who the fuck is this goofy ass, sort of dumb sounding guy talking with Mike Tyson? He's just like, I love you, brother. Like, and the other goes, yeah, man, I love you too,
So
Mike.
he's the
Like,
co-host. William Shatner is.
Mike Tyson's co-host is a ex-NFL player who I'd never heard of, but he's just like a big, sort of like hippie-ish, slow talking but very introspective white guy.
Why didn't they name their podcast CTE?
They could have, because they both, I'm sure, have some of it. But then I watched it and I was like, oh, this guy's fucking huge. He doesn't look like what I was imagining. He's just a huge guy, dude. He was an offensive lineman. They double team every guest they have on like, how deep are you willing to go right now? And a lot of times they have people on and they're just like, yeah, I had no idea we were going to talk about this stuff. I thought I was coming on Mike Tyson's podcast.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be very deep, and maybe I would just like promote something.
They're
But
like-
they're like, yeah, so I'm coming out with an album, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, that's very cool. That's very cool. What do you think about God? And they're just like, oh, okay. And then the other guy's like, yeah, we have a lot of thoughts about that. What do you think about that? But it gets really awkward. It really does.
Yeah.
Like, he had, what's his name? The past tight end from the Chiefs, Gonzalez.
Oh yeah,
He had him
Gonzalez.
on, dude, and he just was not ready. Not
Yeah.
ready. Wiz Khalifa was on. That was a great one because he was just like willing to go wherever they wanted to go. And there's a lot of good ones. But the William Shatner one is fucking crazy, dude. He's just like, so Mike, tell me about, your thoughts and feelings about being a fighter. And he's just like, listen, he says listen a lot.
Yeah.
He's like, listen,
Listen,
and he'll like start to cry a little bit. He'll be like, you gotta understand, I was very afraid. And he's just like, wow, I can't believe that you, the Mike Tyson, was afraid. And he's just like, oh, it's terrified.
So I want to talk to you about being scared. What does being scared mean?
I'm only afraid because I'm human. I always cry before I fight. I don't know. That's just who I am.
And I'm just like, wow. It's fucking awesome, dude.
Gosh, how many of you listened to?
I listen to so many podcasts. I
need to get on your Mike Tyson voice is pretty good.
I never even tried it until I started listening because I was just like, wow, the way he talks is so great.
Again,
Like,
imitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you gotta sort of accept that Mike Tyson's not very articulate and just like sort of like let it go a little
Yeah.
bit. But that's why his co-host helps a little bit.
He reiterates it.
Yeah. So sometimes he says stuff and you literally can't even understand what he just said. And the guests are like, what? But they're like afraid to ask, what did you, they're like, what? Yeah. And then the other guy steps in. He's like, what he's trying to say. And then Mike's just like, yeah, thanks. Like, and you see him and he's like this old man now. He's like got a big gray white beard and he's like,
Mike Tyson does?
yeah.
Oh.
And he's like got a belly. You can see his belly sitting in the chair. And you're like, wow, he really is not the way you imagine him anymore. And then now there's like all these video clips and pictures of him training for this fight. And he's a fucking monster again.
He is, dude. He's a straight.
It's like he hasn't lost anything. You watch him hit the bags and you're like, oh my God.
His footwork, how fast he shuffles his feet.
He's still
fighting Roy Jones.
Roy Jones Jr., dude. Roy Jones was a fucking monster too.
Well, is Roy Jones just a boxer?
Roy Jones is more like Mayweather as a fighter, whereas Mike Tyson,
I mean, is he a boxer or is he
just a boxer?
MMA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I want to get Conor McGregor in the ring with Mike Tyson. Like,
What do you mean?
Like Justin was saying, he's kind of more like a Roy Jones Jr. is a different kind of fighter than Mike Tyson is.
Very technical.
Tyson is a straight fucking thunderclap. Like
He reminds me of a shark.
he's gonna punch straight through your body and
Right.
Roy Jones Jr. is gonna beat you on the cards. The judges are gonna rule him the winner.
Right, yeah. He knocked some people out for
Mike
sure, but
Tyson, Conor McGregor.
How old is he, though?
In that fight,
Mike Tyson?
Yeah, 50.
like 50.
I think he's 50, almost 55. If I can go out on a limb here, psychologically, I think he's bisexual, and I think that has fueled some of his rage because I'll catch some things that he says, and I'm like, I think he's bisexual.
Okay, so that is going to send me on another tangent.
Let's go.
Because, okay, so why are like a lot of people in history that are like, you know, poignant, really prominent people in history end up being like sexually open or like gay or...
Well, it probably causes you to have more of an open mind and maybe think differently.
I mean, maybe.
That's the only thing I could really come up with.
Because I was just watching... Have you ever seen The Imitation Game? And I'm like, okay, so the father of computing, turns out that he's...
Alan Turing.
Yeah, he's a gay man. Yeah. And it's like, the odds that he is the smartest fucking person on Earth.
Right.
And then also a gay man. Like,
was he gay or bisexual?
He was gay, 100%. Well, I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know.
95.
Yeah, 95% gay. At least above 80% gay.
I do a B+.
But, like, the odds of that happening is really small, I guess, because being that smart is really low percentage.
First of all, I was voted the smartest at my family reunion. Like, hands down.
Also, being gay, 10% chance, based on statistics, I suppose. Like, I don't know, that just blows my mind. And then there's like other people you read about.
Very unlikely person.
Yeah, and then you read about people in history that are like, you know, historical arsonists, as like
Alexander the Great.
Yeah, like those people were having sex with men all the time, and like
what's funny is people like Alexander the Great, for instance. You know, Greeks and Romans were like super sexual. I guess you could compare it to us now. But they were like, you know, they had orgies all the time. Like sleeping with multiple partners was regular. Sleeping with same sex and opposite sex, totally normal. In fact, you were like respected as a high society person if you had a boyfriend, like a kid, like basically. But one thing that they were not cool with was oral sex. Wow. They're like, yeah, let's fuck anywhere, anytime, whoever we want, but I'm not putting that in my mouth.
Don't put it in your mouth.
But I can imagine why, because like, how often did they bathe?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Too much cheese on that.
Back to the Mike Tyson thing.
Yeah.
You were saying you suspected or whatever that he might be bisexual, and then one of the most prominent female tennis players ever, Billie Jean King. Turns out she was bisexual or a lesbian, or I'm not sure, but like she ended up loving a woman. I don't know.
It's interesting. It's an interesting thought. I mean, because we know so little about the brain. We know a lot more than we ever have, but there's still like, they still say there's like 90% left to know. Like, we don't know much, but like there could be something that happens inside the brain, some sort of connection or heightened something when you...
It just like, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, okay, well, they're elite. They have like a heightened awareness of whatever they're doing, and that just like opens up their experience to where they're like, well, you don't have to just love men, I guess. Like, if like you could just love women too, I guess. You know, I don't know, it's weird.
Like, love a man as well and just like be real good at math. It helps. It helps.
He's just like so enlightened that he's just like, why would I, if I like men more, then why would I not just do that?
And possibly the dedication and drive and amount of work you put into something can be related to trauma. Like Mike Tyson feeling alienated or feeling like all he has is boxing, or Alan Turing being kind of different, and people picking up on that and bullying him isolates him to a point where all he does is sit in his room and do math equations. So you get really, really fucking
that's true
at what you do, because you don't have a lot of other experiences, and you don't have...
Oh, so you're saying it might be the other way around.
You don't have a social outlet, and, you know, so you become so engrossed in your passion or what you're good at that you become the best mathematician in the world, because the other mathematicians also went out and partied, or also had social outlets, or also played football.
They had acceptance.
Yeah, they, you know, they had social acceptance, or they didn't feel alienated, or they didn't, you know, that possibly, I'm just kind of spitballing.
No, I feel that.
I mean, we're all spitballing.
Yeah, but I could see that being, you know, you become the best in the world at what you do by practicing more than everyone else, and possibly seeing it in a different way than other people. And so having that, you know, that different perspective on it can lead to you like unlocking something that other people didn't see. You know, Mike Tyson being one of the first people to use his entire body in the way that he moved and boxed. Well, he also had Cus D'Amato, which is one of the most legendary boxing trainers.
Dude, and when you hear him talk about that guy, his trainer, it's like his father. Like legitimately was his father. Like
How do you guys know so much about Mike Tyson?
I just read a lot.
I just
Every time I come on this podcast, I'm always absolutely blown away about how much you guys know about the topics.
Well, I just get like, once I see something where I'm like, oh, I like that, I'm just like all in for a while.
Right.
Like I'll just like consume as much of it as possible, and then I'll move on to something else. So like, I went through a Mike Tyson thing. So
I learned about Mike Tyson that his first fight he was ever in was because some kid on the playground or some bully on the block ripped the head off of one of his pigeons. Because he kept pigeons.
he loves pigeons.
Like he was like, as a kid, like that was his hobby. His passion was birds.
Yeah.
Raising birds.
I want to know who that fucking kid is.
Yeah, some fucking.
He ended. Yeah, I was gonna say he's in prison for serial murder.
But that was the first fight he ever got in. He was a timid child. He wasn't into fighting. He
Yeah.
wasn't, like just born to be a fighter.
He wanted to avoid fighting at all costs.
He got so enraged because the pigeons, the birds were like his passion, his hobby, and some kid killed one of his pigeons and it just sent him into a crazy rage. But that's like, you're talking about him being really deep and wanting to talk about God and talking about not feeling like maybe he deserves his life. Like that story about him being under 10 years old and raising pigeons. Like,
Yeah.
That's something that a deep kid does.
Right.
That's something
Yeah.
that an emotional, deep, like higher thinking person does a hobby like that. Like not every kid is gonna be a pigeon trainer.
So, but do you
That's
also
so true.
think that, okay, so we've talked a lot already about like people, whether they have a gift or not have a gift. I'm just wondering whether or not, like, okay, so you talk about how he's 55 years old right now. Yeah. Had a beer belly, a big old gray beard. All of a sudden, boom, now he's in rock hard shape and amazing. Like, how hard is it for a normal person to put in that much work?
That's most of the time,
And
that's impossible.
So, like, honestly, I feel like, I'm not a religious person, but that's fucking God-given. That's Booby Miles
No, I
status.
hear you. Yeah.
Like, all he's got to do is show up because he has that in his body. Like, he's ready to work.
Yeah. He has it in his mind that he can get to that place where he can dedicate. It's like John Wick syndrome, like a singular focus.
Yeah.
Someone who can just
that's a skill
to something and just like singularly focus on that until they have completed it.
Well, so
that's unique.
I agree. Not everyone just has that proclivity.
I feel like very few people.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that's a extremely low percent of human beings can be like that, and that's something that William Shatner was so interested in. He was like, what is it about you that makes you who you are and allows you to do these things? Like, just all of a sudden be like, oh, I'm gonna fight Roy Jones Jr. and now I'm a monster again.
Yeah.
Because he gets very deep about that about himself. He's like, listen, I'm a warrior. And he's obsessed with like Alexander the Great and ancient, very ancient, like, famous conquerors and brutality and like all that sort of stuff because of the mindset of it. And he's like, what allowed Alexander to be who he was? You know what I mean? Because like everyone's just a person. Not everyone is the same in that way, and there are special people.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, and he's
or a certain mindset or personality trait is what leads to becoming a special person. Being able to dedicate yourself to a task doesn't just make you a special person on the set, but dedicating yourself to the task and actually becoming the greatest boxer in the world. That makes you a special person. Like,
I mean, it's just like willpower. Like,
is
like the whole deal. Like,
willpower is a fucked up thing.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm like, I'm not gonna eat mac and cheese this week. It turns out, fuck, dude, I ate mac and cheese 3 times.
Turns out macaroni and cheese is delicious.
Yeah, I can't stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm gonna lose fucking 3 pounds. That's my goal. No, I can't do it.
You could just take a dump
Zero,
and lose 3 pounds.
Yeah, 0 willpower. All of a sudden, Mike Tyson loses 40 pounds. He's fighting heavyweight fights again.
Because he decided that's what I'm going to do.
I mean, that's the thing is like people. I feel like people that are special like that, as fucked up as media is, there are still some good things about it. Anyone in the world can see Mike Tyson training at 55 and lose his beer belly and get shredded and get his warrior spirit back and be so focused. And it's like, wow, I'm not Mike Tyson, but that's inspiring. Like maybe I'll be somewhat like that about something in my life. Like one of the reasons why he retired, he said, is because he's like once my wife got pregnant and I had 2 daughters or whatever, and he was like, I knew I had to quit fighting, because when I'm fighting, he's like, I'm only a fighter, only thinking about killing the man that's trying to kill me. I'm only thinking about destroying somebody. It consumes my mind 24/7. It drives every action I do, every thought I have. He's like, I'm completely obsessed with killing this guy. Like, I knew I couldn't raise 2 daughters with that mindset. So I had to leave. I had to quit. And I was like, fuck, man, I love this guy. But then you just see little tiny glimpses when he's talking. You're just like, oh, he's still a psycho though. Yeah. He's still a psycho. Like, he is very gentle. He is very sweet. He is very deep. He's very friendly and chill and all that. But then it's just like, William Shatner asked him one too many questions in a row. And he was like, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. And William Shatner's just like, Mike. He's like, no, listen, I'll kill you. And I'm just like, he should get out of there. Like, William should go.
What he was saying.
Yeah, because they were talking about how much of a killer instinct he has, and how much he's thought about suicide, and he's just like, I'll kill you too.
Jesus, he says that to me.
But I would love it.
Honestly, I hope that he lives to be 150, and then he can kill me when I'm like, whatever, He
probably
85.
still could.
I mean, I don't think he's 75 years older than me.
But I was like, but then he has athletes on too and stuff, and when you see them like just entering a room with a table and chairs, and you're like, wow, they're fucking huge. Dennis Rodman is huge. Yeah. Gonzalez is huge. His co-host is a fucking monster. And Tyson is not that big. He's really not.
Is he even 6 feet tall?
No.
Well, you have to be over 200 pounds to fight.
Yeah, he was. He was like 220.
Yeah.
And I think all these athletes walking in here that are so huge could probably beat up Mike Tyson. But then you watch his old fights where he's fighting guys that are like a foot taller than him. And it's like he's cutting down a tree. Yeah. He's just like, what? Yeah. What? And these giant guys are just like, Durr.
You should put it on mute and play some.
Yeah, I'm so down. So this is him. Let's watch him training now real quick.
What other topics do you have? We've been talking about this for an hour.
I got other stuff.
Mike Tyson, though, deserves his own fucking episode.
I just really wanted to talk about it.
I can't believe there's this many knockouts.
That dude's 17 feet tall. He's fighting Slender Man.
He's fighting Slender Man.
Just the tallest white guy.
The next clip is in the middle of the forest. He's fighting Slender Man.
So, do you remember this?
Put your mother in the straight jacket, you punk ass white boy. Come here and tell me that if I fuck you in your ass, you punk white boy, you faggot. You can't touch me, you're not man enough. I eat your asshole alive, you bitch. Fuck you, you hoe. Come and say in my face, fuck you, ass for everybody. You bitch. Come on, you bitch. You're scared coward. You're not man enough to fuck with me. You can't last 2 minutes in my world, bitch. Look at you scared now, you hoe. Scared like a little white pussy. Scared of the real man. I'll fuck you till you love me, faggot.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. Except for the hard F. That was nuts. I definitely love the "I'll fuck you till you love me" thing.
Yeah, he also said "I'll eat your asshole."
Yeah.
Little throwaway comment.
And all the weigh-in judges are just like, they're just like fiddling with the scales and shit.
Dude, the thing is all those dudes around him, he needs those guys to make sure that he doesn't go off on people.
Yeah.
Like, it takes that many guys for them to be like, oh, I think we got him under control. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised, dude, if...
Dr. Dre.
I wouldn't be surprised if he could possibly knock out every one of those guys at the same time.
I would put money on him that he would.
And
I'd put money that he would beat up all this.
Dude, what you just talked about is one of the reasons why I'm not into fighting people in public, like strangers, ever. Yeah. Like, you have no idea what people around you are capable of. It's like you could pick a fight with someone and he could be a devastator.
Yes.
You know, like
You just have no idea.
you have no idea what someone's capable of.
Well, fighting in the street is so fucking dangerous because but not only that, but like let's just say you just get caught on like and you fall down and you crack your head on the pavement.
Yeah.
Like that's all it takes, you know.
Or you fall down and then someone's
They
really
keep
mad
hitting
and they
you.
keep hitting you or step on your face or something. Like, jeez.
Or they make you bite the curb and stomp your face.
And then they just don't stop.
That's the most cringiest thing I've ever seen on film.
Yeah. Yikes. The worst part about it was not the stomping, but the sound his teeth made.
It makes my teeth feel weird.
I want to know how old his daughters are now.
Oh, one of his daughters is dating a white kid. I think she's in high school. He's like, I wonder if I just set a really, really bad example of what a black man is to my daughter, and that's why she's attracted to white people.
Very introspective thought.
Yeah.
I was just literally about to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Thought to have.
And he's like, I really come down on myself about that. Whether if I fucked up her image of a black man.
He sounds like he needs to take Ativan.
But
Probably got a therapist.
Well,
I hope.
he probably has.
I hope it's not William.
I would hope he has a panel of therapists that he talks to every time. He just threatens to kill his therapist.
His therapist just like has a 9mm on it, just like Mike.
Shotgun under the table
Yeah.
at all times.
The one that's on like a rotator, just like.
His therapist is 15 equally large.
Yeah. And they all talk at the same time. They're just like, Mike.
I listened to a podcast. Gosh, it's got to be 10 years ago, maybe.
You still say gosh?
Well, I never take.
I say golly.
I never take.
Gee golly
I never
gosh.
take Yahweh's name in vain.
Gosh to me.
Gosh dang it. Sounds like
Gosh.
Gosh dang it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby.
But there's a therapist that he deals with people who have like violent thoughts but have never acted violently.
Yeah.
And like one of his methods was
So like everyone?
one of his methods was like there was this guy who came on the podcast. He's like, I kept having these thoughts of killing my wife, and like I love my wife and we've been married for years, but I just kept having these dreams and these thoughts like I just wanted to like kill her, but I didn't want to do that, but I like had these thoughts.
You sure you don't want to do it?
And then so he went to see this therapist, and the therapist, his method is absolutely insane.
What?
So he
makes an effigy of the guy's wife and has him kill it.
No. He brings a knife to the appointment, and then he says, "Take the knife and hold it up to my throat."
Wow.
He's like, "Do you want to kill me? Do you want me to die?"
I think that therapist should have a therapist.
Yeah.
Dude, either that
I learned this.
either that or he needs a Nobel Prize. I don't know. But like,
faces them.
It's probably bisexual.
Yeah, and then like that therapist like helped him realize that he has these crazy thoughts, but he's not going to act on them. You know, there's one thing about having crazy thoughts, but there's nothing that you're not going to do it. Yeah. You're not a bad person because I mean, obviously there are bad people out there, but like he would literally have them put a knife to his throat and say like, "You're not going to kill me. Do you understand? You're not going to kill me.
Come on, do it."
And then he's just they're like, "Yeah, I guess I realize like when they come face to face with it,
yeah, he's like, "This feels weird."
Yeah, I'm not actually. I don't want to kill you.
Yeah,
pretty nuts.
But honestly, like I don't know, thinking about killing people is a pretty foreign thought in my mind. Like,
I feel like for a lot of people it is.
Yeah.
For most people.
So I would just be like, well, what's at the root of this? You know, like instead of just like put a knife to my throat, I'd be like, well, why do you think about this?
Well, obviously this guy was struggling with this specific issue for a while. So like it wasn't like he's like, I have a bunch of anxiety about work and like my boss has been writing me. Also, I want to kill my wife.
I mean, that like, that's the thing on on the subject of like, you know, what we know about the brain and all that, how much we don't know. And it's so fucking complicated from person to person. If there's two people that do the same thing, one person's reason for why they do it is completely different from the other person.
Right.
And there's no straight line avenue connecting to certain things. It's all over the place. But also like every little thing that happens to you in your life, no matter how small, adds up. to who you are and why you think what you think and do what you do. And that's just like so complicated.
Dude,
it's like,
dude, what you just talked about is why I'm so terrified for my son.
Yeah.
Dude, I think about it almost hourly.
Like what's going to happen to him and
I
who he's going to be.
I don't have
grows up.
control over everything.
Yeah. Right.
You know, when we grew up, like, yes, my parents were angels when I was growing up, but like, you have to be honest with yourself. The people you happen to run into in your life and the people who raise you are your fucking friends that you run into, like, by happenstance.
Yeah. Have much of an influence on who you are.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do.
People would tell me and you, I mean, maybe listeners won't think this now, but like when me and you were in high school and in middle school and stuff, like when we would answer the phone, they would think that me and you like
sounded the same.
Exactly the same. It's because I met you when I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And so me and you, we would have this like the same type of speaking mannerism because we imprinted on each other young, and that has nothing to do with my parents.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, you're
like much something just as small as like just the way you talk. As you're developing, you're just like a fucking blank canvas. Isn't
like,
that? Do you ever just think about that? Like how long we've all known each other, and just it's crazy. There aren't very many people that have that. Pretty rare.
It is rare.
So Vince, the iHeartRadio thing, I've been holding out on you for a while. About it.
You said you had something to...
We entered iHeartRadio contest for the next best podcast that no one knows about. So I was getting it all prepared and I was about to submit everything, and then I actually read more, and they said your submission must not, like in all caps, have any profanity at all. And I was like, oh, we're out. We're not in it then.
What's your profanity?
What's the next thing? We could do a phone call roulette where we just pick a random letter, and whoever the first person in your phone is with that name starting with that letter, you just have to call them up on the podcast and just be like, yeah, I just wanted to call you and just have a conversation. Just doesn't that sound like the worst thing in the world?
It sounds horrible.
It'd be funny though. Like, yeah, we could skip that.
I'm
like,
definitely down.
Just like, all right, letter K. Call someone in your phone, first person with the letter K. And just like, yeah, I'm just calling you. What's up? What's going on?
There's just almost nothing I hate worse than calling you.
I know, and I don't know why. Like, I was high last night, and I thought that was a good idea, and I was like, you're gonna hate that, and I was like, that's why it'd be good, because I would hate it so much.
Okay, give me another one, and I'll do it.
You're a very pro phone guy, whereas Vince and I are like there's a part of me that would like totally love not having a phone.
I wish cell phones were never invented.
Well, I definitely wish that people didn't think that they could access my attention at any time.
Yeah.
I do wish that, but I also know that I text and call you guys, I would say 300% more than you guys text and call me.
I fucking hate that about myself.
But that's okay. I mean, everyone's different.
My brother John in South Carolina called me like 3 weeks ago, and I deliberately ignored his call.
Yeah.
I love my brother.
Right. It has nothing to do with how you feel about the person. It's feeling like I have to do this now that they've texted me or called. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You need to answer this right now because that's phone etiquette.
Well, yeah. I had to literally grieve over that.
Come to that realization.
Yeah, and come to the realization that, like, just because people don't text me and call me back, or like don't text me as much as I do or call as much as I do, doesn't mean they don't like me or don't love me or whatever. It's just they're not the same as me, you know.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, dude.
But it pisses everyone in my life off. Like, everyone hates it.
My sister Sophie is like that. I think she's responded to maybe 3 texts in our entire lives that I've ever texted her. She's only responded 3 times. She just does not do it. She doesn't text back. She won't do it. I'm just like, it's an important question. I need to know the answer.
Especially when it's like actually about something.
Yeah.
You know, you got to respond.
That's just how she is, so I don't take it personally, you know. I'm just like, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, it's fine. You don't have to text me back. I'm still going to text you sometimes, but...
Yeah.
Which I don't really, but...
You want me to do P?
What do we got? Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
So mine's doing last names. P. Pat Burke.
Who the fuck is that?
Honestly, he's the captain of the football team of the college that I went to. And I've probably spoken to him 3 times in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why I have his phone number.
That's super random.
Perfect person, man.
Why should we just call him?
Well, we can't just like skip all of them. It's like that's the whole point.
So call him and put it on speaker.
Yeah, and just like give him like try to come up with something like why you called him.
I'm not gonna like this.
This is squeamish.
Yeah, like even I'm gonna be fucking squeamish.
Ah.
And do you want me to put it up to the mic?
Yeah. Let's just see what you can come up with.
Oh, this is a nightmare. I
You
mean,
volunteered for this.
I
Like
mean,
you literally took the reins
like
on
I
it.
give a fuck.
Hello?
Hello, Pat?
Hello. Oh, you know what? Pat hasn't had this number in like 7 years.
Oh.
I don't even know who Pat is. I just get calls from him all the time.
See what they're up to.
Oh, so I'm so sorry. What are you up to right? What are you up to right now?
I am about to watch Hocus Pocus at an outdoor.
That's a great movie.
in Denver.
Oh my god.
What year did that movie come out?
Probably 1990, yeah.
1993. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Cult classic.
Well,
you're on a podcast right now.
The reason I'm calling is because we did we're on a podcast right now, and we just chose a random number or a random letter to dial into our phone and then call the top one, and we chose P, and Pat Burke was the person who came up.
Well, you need to update your contact list.
Honestly, I don't know that I do because I barely even knew him.
Ask her again. Ask her what she's doing again.
Well, let's just say you ended up in the C's, because my name is Caitlin.
Okay, Caitlin. Well,
just so you know.
Hocus Pocus is absolutely my favorite Halloween movie, so.
Okay. Thanks. You have a great night.
Okay, you also tell the Sanderson sisters I said hello.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
I fucking doubt you will. All right. That was perfect. So that's something.
Very good sport.
Yeah, wow.
Shout out.
She's like, I get these calls all the time.
Yeah.
Pat Berg is that popular? That
Yeah.
call his old number all the time.
Wow. Good job. That was good.
Well, that was kind of
That
funny.
was fun.
I'm actually so glad that it wasn't Pat Burke.
What are you doing right now?
Dude, someone.
Something really interesting too. She was watching Hocus Pocus in an outdoor theater.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay.
More interesting than anything I've done in months. Like, good for you.
Dude, the fact that you asked someone you didn't know with the wrong phone number what they were doing is so funny to me.
I would have just hung up immediately if I was there.
Yeah.
It could have easily been someone's grandmother who was just like, who?
Grandma, I'm in prison. Give me some bail money. Which grandson is this? Honey.
Okay, Justin, you go now.
Oh, I'm never going to do it.
Really? Really?
You garbage fucker.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it right now.
Dude, give me an S.
An S?
Yeah.
Joke's on you. I probably don't have one. Let's see what I got. Dude, my brain is not working right now. I'm like, where are my contacts? Contacts. S.
If you asked Mike Tyson to put in the letter S, would he put in TH?
Okay.
That's a good joke.
Like, that's how I say it.
Thuthan.
What comes up?
Methuselah. Actually, it's my cousin, Alex Streben.
Call?
Hasn't he been on the podcast before?
No, that was Gregory, his brother. Who we should get again, I think. We should get.
Streben.
Is it on speaker?
Yeah.
Yo, what up?
What up?
Not much, just cooking dinner right now.
You're cooking dinner.
Oh, yeah.
What's the dinner?
Chicken Alfredo.
Ooh.
Amazing. Are you making it from scratch?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, look at me.
You're a little cooker.
Get stuck out of you.
Who are you with?
My fiance.
You have a fiance?
This is fantastic.
When did that happen?
August.
August. How did you propose?
At the beach.
So in the sand.
No, we're up on a rock.
Oh, you were on a rock.
Yeah.
How high up was the rock?
A couple 100 feet.
Couple 100 feet. That's a high up proposal.
Yeah.
He thought that was funny. You're on the podcast right now, just so you know.
Oh, I didn't know you're still doing this.
Yeah, who do you think I am, dude?
I don't know.
You think I'm just a giver-upper?
Pretty much.
I did give up a son. Where are you living at right now? With your fiance?
No, we're not living together yet.
You're not living together.
No.
Ill-advised.
They're still using bundling bags.
Do you say gosh instead of God?
No.
Thank you. Say what's up to Daniel and Vince.
Yo, what up?
What up,
Haven't seen you guys in like
Heyo.
10 years.
Probably
15
longer
years.
than that. Yeah, like 15 years.
Alex is a big boy.
I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, he's stature big.
He's a tall man.
Yeah.
I'm only 6 foot.
You're a
Not that
straight
tall.
unit.
6 foot is a lot to me. So.
I mean, I think I'm the tallest one of all of us, and I'm only 5'10".
Yeah, that's true. I'm 5'7".
We laugh.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's keep talking. What?
You're gonna make me burn my dinner.
A little bit of burnt is good for Alfredo.
No, it's definitely not.
All right. Well, I hope to see you soon. You should come on the podcast. Tell your fiance that she's really in for it.
Yeah, you were supposed to come on my birthday, right?
I was at work.
Yeah, dude.
I was at work.
I'll just keep inviting you to things that you don't want to come to, but I'll see you at the next thing I invite you to.
All right. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll see you later.
Oh, this is actually the greatest thing you guys have done on the podcast. I can't wait for Vince to go.
I'm not doing it.
Dude, you have to do it.
You can't
have
be
to
the
do it.
one person out of that. We've all bit the
have to
bullet.
do
We
it.
all bit the
You
bullet.
can do it.
Okay.
You can be the one person.
Dude, we are the same in that way.
At least see who it is.
Daniel, pick the letter.
Give me. Hold on. Let me see.
Really feel
let
it
me
out.
Feel. Yeah.
What letter do you feel?
Back and forth.
X.
Let me feel it out. Feel it out. Okay.
Call Xander.
No, not Xander.
Call.
No, it'll be. Dude, let's go with
F.
Yeah, I like that.
You like F?
Yeah, go F.
Put your feelers out for F.
Frankie from Texas Roadhouse.
Call
Perfect. Back in the old Texas Roadhouse days. Did you work there?
Yeah, you did in Yuma.
So you probably haven't talked to this person in a long time.
Put it up to the mic.
Frankie. If he doesn't answer, you have to call someone else.
My heart is pounding. Hello? Hi, is this Frankie?
You know what? This is the wrong number.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Another wrong number.
They
did what most people would do.
Dang.
They're like, I'm watching Hocus Pocus. What the fuck?
She was sounding too, like she gets them close.
Yeah, apparently.
She's just like, hello, this isn't Frankie.
I mean, honestly, now I'm down to do another one.
My heart was racing the whole time. I was so mad.
That was so funny.
I feel terrible.
That was so funny. Justin calls his cousin who guilts him about not coming to his events all the time.
He goes, so, anyway, let's keep He was really just like open to just answering questions like straight up.
Yeah, because he's like a normal person who is okay with being on the phone, whereas I'm not.
Call me and just like, what are you up to? You cooking dinner? Oh yeah, what are you cooking? I was been like, okay, I'm hanging up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for I do that to you literally all the time. I'll call Vince and like be like, "Hey,
what are you doing?
Hey, dude," and like I'll normal greetings, and then I'm just like, I don't have any reason for calling.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I know. That's awesome. All right, what's another one?
You want to do another letter?
I'm not doing that.
Dude, you are a team player. I've always said this about you.
I've always said this. Oh, dude, that is so funny. What a funny thing to do.
Dude, I got on my bike the other day and just fucking...
Oh my God!
Destroyed my hip. Then this is like healed too. This is healed from what it was. It was like...
What did you do?
Here and just like... I was just riding my bike in the rain and I went to turn and both tires slid out from under me and I just fucking fell straight onto my hip.
Yikes.
Like if I was 10 years older, it would have shattered my pelvis into smithereens.
Jesus.
Well, it still might heal wrong, so.
I'm not going to
Vince has a huge bruise on his hip, and we saw a little bit of his pubes when he pulled his pants down to show us. Somebody at work a little while back was telling me about their hernia, and they were like gonna show me their hernia, and we were just like outside at work, and just like straight up pulled like his pants halfway down almost, and just full bush view. Just I was like, yeah, I can't see your hernia because of your forestry of pubes that you're showing me right now. I was laying in bed with Hannah, and it was just like sort of silent for a while. We're just like watching TV, and like randomly I was like, my coworker showed me his pubes today. And she was like, what?
That kind of reminds me of when like you're like standing in line at the grocery store and like
people pull their pubes out.
Well, not necessarily, but
do you like paper or pubes?
But verbally they do.
Yeah.
So like you'll be like, hey, how's it going? You know, whatever, like normal like stranger conversation.
Yeah.
And then like
it's sunny out.
Within like 15 seconds, they're just like, oh, well, you know, my son is in rehab.
Yes.
And like, I just can't, I can't really stand my wife. And, you know, and you're just like,
I think about killing her. And
I'm like, how did we get here, stranger?
Yeah.
I was
stranger.
Yeah. And dude, it happened with my dad. And like, my dad's like a talkative guy.
Yeah.
And we were at the grocery store and just like buying a 12er a beer or something, you know? And then the cash register lady is like kind of tall. And then of course my dad's like, wow, you're really tall. And then she's just like, yeah, you know, I used to model. And then my dad's like, oh wow, like what kind of modeling? And then
modeling.
Next thing you know, she's telling us about how she dropped out of modeling because they used to make her put like stuff over her nipples and like try and do like half naked modeling and stuff. And I'm like, I like looked at my dad. I'm like, dude, that conversation took 45 seconds.
Wow.
How did we get to this situation?
We're already on nipples.
Like I can't understand how people divulge.
A lot of people do that.
Private
a lot of
information
people
to
like,
strangers.
like just complete stranger. It happens a lot at work because I approach so many people I don't know at work to, you know, whatever. But man, some people just like unload on you. And it's like, you know, we don't know each other, right? Like,
I feel like all I hear when people do that is just like they're talking and all I hear is, I'm super lonely.
Yeah.
So
yeah, sort of. Sometimes you get some real golden nugs though out of people randomly where you're just like, whoa, that's crazy. You know? And I'm like, thanks for sharing. That's going to bother me the rest of the day.
Bring you up on my podcast.
Yeah. Dude, I honestly feel so bad about your dad's podcast that we did.
Why?
Because I wanted to have him on so bad, and I still do, but like it was Zoom, so it was like it's slightly delayed, so like your dad had so much to say that it's like when one of us would try to say something, like you don't register it right away like you are in person, or you even know when someone's about to say something in person, but over Zoom it's like there's none of that. And he just was like, yeah, and then this and this and this, and I'm just like and like we couldn't interject like you do naturally in a conversation. And you know, having not released it and all that, I'm just like, oh, I hope he doesn't feel bad about that. Like,
well,
because I still want to have him on. It just has to be in person.
Yeah, I mean, if you have him on again, I'd like to be there because I can definitely rein him in because he will rant.
He was like super pumped though to be doing it, which was good because like obviously that just makes for good.
He goes off on some crazy stuff.
Eventually, you were just like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go, and I was like, oh well.
What's the next major topic you have?
What was it like being on America's Got Talent?
Oh my gosh.
You were on America's Got Talent.
Thank you for asking, Steve.
Yeah. Was it like?
Do you actually really want to talk about
No,
this?
I actually do.
Oh, okay.
I've never really asked you about it.
I mean, in a nutshell, so when we were, I guess, like a little backstory, I guess.
Yeah, please.
So we were in an a cappella group in college.
Yeah.
And you know, that was back like before, what's that movie called about a cappella? Pitch Perfect. Yeah, Pitch Perfect.
Have you seen that movie?
I've seen part of one of them.
I've never seen it.
Pitch Perfect is a funny movie.
But they like right before that happened, there was like a craze about a cappella music, and that was like right around that time is when we were doing it in college. And so we were in this group, and all men's group called PLU Tonic, Plutonic, which is kind of a weird name. Like,
I like it. I think it's good.
Well, tonic is like a musical term, and then PLU is Pacific Lutheran University.
And
so
Plutonic.
Plutonic friend.
Yeah, so it's like we're like overcompensating.
This is strictly
no,
Plutonic.
we're all Plutonic.
Yeah.
We're not. Definitely, people used to make fun of it, but we liked the name, so we kept it. And then we used to like take songs off the radio and then sing them. We became like a sensation on campus, basically.
Yeah.
And then videos got onto YouTube, and then there was like an America's Got Talent scout that found us on YouTube and basically was like, "Hey, you know, come."
Oh, they scouted you guys.
Yeah, we
off
didn't.
YouTube.
We didn't audition.
Oh shit, that's cool.
And so they told us like, "Hey, come to this location. We're coming into Seattle at this time." And then you can come right backstage or whatever and come audition.
Yeah.
And so we came and auditioned. We like walked past the whole giant crazy line that was outside. And, and then we came in, we like sang for a producer, sang for another producer, sang for another producer. And then they were like, "Okay, well, we like you guys. We're going to have you guys sing for the judges on camera." So it's really like, it's not like you think it is, where it's like, oh, you come in and you just sing for the judges. No.
Right.
No, you come in, you sing for some random schmo, and then they go,
take your clothes off.
You're either kind of funny and we want you to be on camera, or you're really good and we think you can make it, or you're nobody and you're gone.
Yeah, kill yourself.
And so you sing for somebody, you sing for another person, you sing for another high up person, you sing for the producers, and then you go in and then they put you on camera.
Wow.
And so we did all that. And then they put us on camera and we went out on the big stage or whatever.
What was the room like the auditorium stage room?
So originally, it was in a normal kind of like opera house theater.
An abandoned warehouse?
Like what you would basically picture, like if you were going to watch like a symphony or something.
Okay.
You would go, it's like a normal, basically like normal auditorium.
Yeah.
You know? And then they just like have they have like the 3 X's on top, you know, where they like meh, meh, meh.
Were most of the people in the very back like cardboard cutouts, or were they real people?
No, it's filled with people. The whole thing is filled with people. So originally we went out and we sang our song. We sang Apple Bottom Jeans.
Flo Rida?
Yeah, Flo Rida, Apple Bottom Jeans. And 2 of them said no, and then 1 said yes.
Who were the judges?
Pierce Morgan, and then the bald guy who's like agoraphobe. What's his name?
Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel, and then Ozzy Osbourne's wife.
Right, okay.
Sharon Osbourne, yeah. And so
2 Brits and a bald guy.
Sharon Osbourne said yes, and then the 2 guys said no to us. So we were out. And then
what did they say to you?
So
Why did they say no?
The crowd went wild and they loved it. And then they let us finish the whole song, which was good because usually they will say no. Yeah, and then they like gave us a standing ovation, which was, we were like, oh, we're in, you know. And then they were like, nah, well, you know, we don't.
The fuck's their problem?
We don't think you guys have what it takes or whatever, you know. And Sharon Osbourne was like, yeah, we love you. And then so they said no, and then they sent us on our way. We like met Nick Cannon and all this weird stuff.
Did he talk about Jews?
Did he?
Yeah, did he? He's really against Jews.
Well, he wasn't
He wasn't that.
He wasn't as vocal to us about the Jews at that point.
Yeah.
But no, the story. So it keeps going. So the season went on, and they like kept eliminating people, and then they did like this weird thing where they were like, "Oh, so there's like a YouTube round when they got to like the top 25 people." And then they realized
YouTube round
where they like pulled people off of YouTube into the show to like compete with the top people in the show. And then they called us back and said, "Hey, we actually do want you guys back on the show." And so they flew us down to California.
Wait, were you on camera when you guys originally performed for them?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were on twice?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then so they flew us down to California. And then we stayed in like some hotel with the other contestants and everything. We met, like there was like some guy who like his talent was like spinning pizza.
And he won, right?
No, some little girl. Gosh, I think her name's Jackie Evanko, maybe.
I would have no idea.
She did not sing Apple Bottom Jeans. She was like a classical singer, and she was like 11 or something like that. She was like really little.
They love little kids.
Yeah, but when we went on the show. They like gave us a bunch of cameras, and they were like, just go walk around and film yourselves for like, they call it B-roll. And they're like, oh, okay, so go film yourselves doing random stuff.
It's just you guys all platonically fucking in the hotel room.
Yeah. And so they our thing was we were sweater fests.
Yeah. And glasses and bow ties.
No, that wasn't our thing.
They put that on you?
They made us do that. Wow. Yes.
Dude,
yes,
that's
they made
so
us do
weird.
That. Yeah, so we used to wear Argyle sweater vests.
Uh-huh.
That was like our thing that we did. Yeah. And then they took that and they were like, "Oh, so you guys are nerds who sing like popular songs. That's funny." Yeah. And like the producers were like, "So if you're going to be on the show, we're going to put you guys in black frame glasses and we're going to make you guys all wear bow ties.
Play up the nerd."
Yeah.
Fucking focus group fucker.
Yes.
Dude, it's so real.
And they made us do that. And then when they introduced us, there were like a bunch of college nerds.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm actually not a fucking nerd.
Yeah. And like only like 2 or 3 of us were in choir. I wasn't even in a choir at all. I was a biology major.
Yeah, you're just in
and so they were like, oh, all these nerds from college. Like that's how they introduced us on national television, you know?
Dude, if I was you, I would have been like, do nerds look like this without their shirt on?
Yeah. And so they're like, oh, how funny is it to see these nerds singing Apple Bottom Jeans, you know?
There's like, you guys are such fucking nerds.
Yeah. And then, you know, so we're backstage or whatever, and Nick Cannon comes up to us, is talking to us. Hey, you guys ready to go on stage? Yeah, whatever.
That was, you fucking nerds.
That
ready?
Was like, we met him for like 2 seconds. It was not.
Was
that
he
big
nice?
He was actually really nice.
Yeah,
yeah.
You can be nice and still hate the Jews, I think. Anyways,
I think that's
continue.
Maybe true.
I don't
know. but and then we went on, and dude, it was so nerve-wracking.
I'm sure.
So it's like this fucking stage that is completely translucent with lights coming through it.
Really?
Yes. And then the actual studio is really small, but there's still a studio audience, you know? It's like kind of a small auditorium, but it's not like...
For some reason, the stage being translucent is really off-putting.
Yeah, it's like this like shiny thing, and there's lights. It's like a laser show. And they put us in these chairs... like to sit all together, like waiting to go on stage.
Yeah.
And then you go on and you have like, I guess your time, like a certain amount of time slot. Like Nick
for like a song, or
you know,
what?
Yeah, he introduces us and everything. And then we come on and we do our thing, and then we stand there all awkwardly, like waiting for the judges to like do their little critique of us or whatever. And then
they're like, so you guys are what we made you to be, and we don't like it.
And so Howie was like, I really like what you guys have to offer, but I really don't think so. And then Pierce was like,
nerds.
No, I don't think so. And then Sharon was like, absolutely, yes, 100%.
Yeah, well, she wanted you guys to run a train on her.
But
probably.
The thing is fucking Pierce Morgan came up to us afterward and was like, I really liked you guys. I thought you guys were so fun and like whatever, but like they told us no.
I was just gonna say.
So it's like completely not
up
real.
to them.
Yeah, it's completely scripted.
Whoever the producers want to go.
Wow.
The judges what the fuck.
He literally told us backstage. Yes, he told us 100%.
So you heard it here first,
I do that sometimes in fairness at work too. Like I'll be like, hey, like the fucking homeless people will come and try to charge their phones on the outdoor outlets of the school, and I'm like, hey, the principal said you have to leave, even though the principal didn't say shit to me. Like, I don't want to.
That's a good comparison.
I don't want to be the bad guy that runs the homeless dude off the fucking outlet to charge his phone. So it's like, hey, they told me I had to tell you to leave.
Sharon Osbourne's are you boys homeless?
Yeah, maybe that was the case. But like he came up to us and said that, so.
Well,
I mean,
it's
not like we're walking up to him and approaching him because he's like the star.
Really want us to go?
Yeah. No, he walked up to us and said that, and we're like, what?
Well, yeah, you guys got to. You guys got. Yeah, you got to lift the veil on how it all actually works, and they don't actually make the decisions. And
well, I didn't sign an NDR or an NDA or whatever, so like I
don't watch America's Got Talent. It's all fake.
It's all a sham.
Oh, it's 100% of
that's
a sham.
Amazing.
And so like when they. And especially like in the beginning when you think that like, oh, like all these people are like the judge sees everyone.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Oh, man.
90% of those people that stand in line all night never even get past the first fucking person, the first.
Yeah, not a chance.
The first intern with the clipboard that sees them.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what an awesome gig to have in showbiz. To be like, I'm a judge, but I don't make any decisions, and I just sit here and watch people perform stuff all day.
And then you just make your comments, and then you make your comments based on what the producer wants you to do, and then you just say yes or no based on exactly what they told you.
Look over to the producer, the performance, and the producer's like, no, shaking their head.
Is the
Piers Morgan's like, fuck, I really like these bits.
It makes me think the producer is like in the back behind a curtain, like the big, like what was his name from Power Rangers, the big head in the tube?
Rangers.
Zordon?
Yeah, Zordon. The producer is just Zordon. And then the little robot guy who's like, Rangers, sorry, you don't have what it takes. It's really not up to me. That would be Nick Cannon, I guess.
Yeah, that's Nick Cannon. And then who is the producer? Rita then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the fucked up things is that people think that like this is my big chance.
Yeah.
You know, and like maybe for some people it is, and like
a really sad backstory.
Maybe, but like they reached out to us. We didn't give a shit about any of this stuff. Right, they called us and said, "Hey, do you want to come on to America's Got Talent?" Then we went. They didn't want us, and then they called us back again. So we never auditioned for them. They called us.
That's awesome.
And
though.
so, but that's kind of fucked up though, because all these people think that
the way they advertise.
Half the people are. I don't even know how many people are like thinking that this is their big chance to like get on TV, but no, they're calling people and telling them to come in. We walked past the whole line of all the people, and we walked straight in and said, "Hey, we're Plutonic," and they said, "Come right in." Walked right past everyone.
Yeah, they're just for B-roll. That's all they have.
Yeah, it's like, fucked up.
All these people that on our show, we didn't call any of these fuckers.
Yeah.
Like,
and then like, and they hire people to sit and listen to them sing, and they're just like, "Cool."
Yeah.
Sick.
Wow.
Get out. Cool. Sick. Get out. I'm sure the person who's watching him gets paid $15 an hour, and he's just like, sick. You know.
Get out.
Damn.
Next. I'm getting paid to watch all these weird people do weird stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
That's wow.
There's maybe one person out of each town they fucking go to or whatever that auditions. They're like, okay, well, I'm gonna send this person on. Actually.
Yeah.
That's wild.
11-year-old girl.
I mean, if it happened to me, I'm assuming it happens to much more people, so I'm assuming that most of the people who are in the final
like vetted, they were chosen by
they were chosen by the producers.
Very few small percentage of
like,
is someone that actually showed up to
so you think they actually know all pretty much like pretty early on like who's gonna actually win at the end?
Or who they want on TV at the end. And so I'm like, I don't think I'm special, dude. If it happened to me, then it's definitely happening every single season to every single person.
So they didn't disclose that to you. You just found that out during the process.
What do you mean?
Like they weren't like, so look, guys, like we like you a lot. We just want you to be on camera. You're not going to win. We already know.
No,
who's
they didn't
win.
Say that to us.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. And
they want
say,
you to
like,
have hope.
America votes.
Yeah.
You know, but No, it's
Well, it's the same thing with
Zordon is America.
From the very
Zordon votes.
Yeah.
From the very first auditions, like you can tell who's gonna make it through by how much screen time they give the person. Like somebody, and then they'll like show a bunch of B-roll of them at home with their family in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And they have like 12 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
In the shack, and like we butcher a chicken every night. You really hope Jimmy makes it through to the next round. And it's just like, well, obviously this guy's going through to the next round, or they wouldn't have spent 15 minutes on an hour-long episode.
Yeah, exactly.
And they wouldn't have flown to his home state to shoot B-roll of his family if they
Yeah.
wanted to put him through. And then there's the fucking freaks and weirdos that fucking sing Rico Iglesias that they are just putting on their...
Rico Iglesias.
Rico.
She bang, oh baby. You know,
Yeah.
What the fuck, William Chung or whatever.
Yeah, they put him through to make a fool of him.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is great TV.
It wasn't because they
fucking
film.
glasses
It wasn't because they film every single episode. The producers went, "This guy's literally hilarious."
Yeah.
And then they went through to make a fool of him, which is even more fucked up.
Yeah, that's so fucked, man.
Like that guy probably sang for five people before he got to the judges.
Yeah, and he's fucking thinking, I'm doing this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm as
Super
good as
fucked
I
up.
always thought I was.
Yeah.
And then he sees himself on TV and he's like, oh, fuck.
He's like, I'm terrible.
He's like, they were just
Yeah.
making fun of me the whole time.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's really
So-
interesting. I mean, to know that for sure, like that's how it works.
I mean, it was fun and it was cool. They flew us down and they gave us like money to like fuck around in LA. And
Oh,
stuff
really?
For a little bit, yeah. But,
Howie
like,
Mandel's like, this strip club's really good. You should go here.
Yeah.
These ones are from...
It's
Yeah.
really clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as they
Yeah.
came straight from the Fed, because he would never touch anything that's.
Well, he's wearing gloves.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was definitely a very fun experience. So I don't like regret it, and I don't like hate
No,
those
yeah.
people or anything. But it's definitely not what you think it is. If you think that people are going there and like
Yeah.
auditioning,
I mean,
and,
I
like,
basically
getting their big
assumed-
chance, no,
Yeah.
it's not like that at all. And if you go there and you get in line, you will never talk to the judges, and you will never see Nick Cannon. You will never see Ryan
Damn.
Seacrest. You will never see anyone like that. No, you'll see Hank Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is that guy?
Who's sitting there with a clipboard, who is just waiting for you to be done singing so that he can go back home and open up a can of Ranier and go back to sleep. Like that's the only person you're gonna see.
But in fact, he is actually the most talented person there, and no one knows it. Wow. It's just funny because they're like, oh, yeah, you guys are nerds. Like, let's play that up. And it's like half of you were football players and could sing really, really well and were good looking and probably racked up a ton of puss and was in college as performers.
But they just thought that would be more funny.
Yeah.
that would be more.
No,
fun
I
for
get
people
it.
to
It's just
see
funny,
on
like, because
camera.
how untrue
And
it
we're
is.
singing apple bottom jeans, so it'd be funny to see nerds singing apple bottom
Right.
jeans, And I mean, it was funny.
We're gonna
and it
put
was
you
fun,
guys in apple
but,
bottom
like,
jeans.
and we're grinding on stage and stuff and whatever. So,
Gotta ham it up.
yeah.
That's funny, dude.
Showbiz, baby.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I'm Vince Davila. Thanks for listening to your friends.
I'm Justin Burt.
Now, that was my intro.
Oh, and I'm Daniel Gilbertson.
You know what your name is.
Intro. I like that phone call skit. We'll have to do that shit again.
And I was also thinking it would be funny because I just feel like anything improv is fun. Yeah. And I was thinking like it'd be funny to like set up a random scenario on the spot and like act something out that we're making up, and then I'll add all the sound effects to it as the story plays out.
Call my mom and act like I was just in a car accident.
And then I'll just add stuff to it later and just like have it
I'm Nick
feel like
Zordon at America's Got Power.
Yeah, we could have made a whole separate alternate reality of that show, like, and then I'll just. But yeah, so anyways, look forward to new episodes. I'm gonna be releasing. We've done a couple where the mics crapped out a little bit, but I have stuff backed up that I want to put together. And the ones that haven't been released for whatever reason, I want to compile as like a lost episodes segment of the podcast. So like, they're not our original ones that count as the actual episodes, but they'll be like a backlog sort of thing, you know? If people like the show and they have listened to every episode, they're like, when the fuck do they release episodes?
Yeah.
So like, I kind of want to be better at that. It's rough because I actually have a job too, and like, you know, this isn't what we do for a living, so it's fun. Is it fun?
I mean, I think it's fun.
So, anyways, see you guys next time.
That was a really lukewarm ending.